everyone, again. My name is Trippy Congo, President of Wilmington City Council. I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. I know it was very short notice, but we appreciate you. I want to thank everyone who was up here with me, seated behind me. We did not get here alone. I am not here alone. This has been a long time coming. You know, enough is enough. I am tired of the public school system failing our children. I am tired of those failures being acceptable and being the norm and being the conversation of the Delaware public school system. So that is why I am attempting to create, along with my colleagues on council, an Office of Advocacy for Education. Our children need us. Schools need us, teachers need us, families need us. And along with my colleagues, on Thursday, we are going to pass legislation that will establish the first ever Office of Advocacy for Education here in the city of Wilmington. I'm extremely thankful for people who have helped me get to this point. And a lot of those people are right behind me on the panel. Some are home watching virtually, and some are in the crowd. They will all get a chance to speak. But at some point, we have to take a stand. We cannot continuously be told that Wilmington cannot have a voice in the way our children are being educated. We cannot continue to be told that we just can't talk about what we know is necessary for our children to be successful. So that is the ultimate goal. We want to raise scores on reading and math proficiency. But it is so much more than that. We want our children to be prepared for life here in the city of Wilmington. And if they travel and if they move abroad, we want them to be even more prepared. This is public safety. This is economic development. This is housing stability. Once we can educate our Wilmington City students, we will have less fear of crime. We will have more economic development. We will have a workforce where tech businesses will want to come into Wilmington to set up. We have to start somewhere, and I'm not taking anything away from any organization that is doing what they're doing now. They have done a great job, but they need help, and they have asked us to help. And we're here to help. We're here to fill gaps. We're not here to duplicate any services. We want to be change agents. We don't want to be an organization that kind of just goes along and get along. We know that we're going to have to fight for our children. We know that it's going to be an uphill battle. And we're here saying publicly that we're here to fight for our children. We're here to help, but also here to fight. Not only for the children, but for their families, for the schools, for the teachers. We just want to be a voice. And I believe that with this office, Wilmington City Council can finally become that voice. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming. We do have a few people who are going to say a few words. Next up is going to be Senator Tizzy Lockman. So I want to thank her again. She has been advocating for education for so long, well before she became a public official. And again, it's going to take all of us. And she's doing work on the state level. And I think it's time that the city of Wilmington can do what the city of Wilmington needs for our children. This office will specifically advocate for all Wilmington children. That is going to be our focus. You know, what the state does for children across all three counties is extremely important, but our focus will be only on the students in Wilmington. And thank you again. I look forward to working with all of you. And I look forward to being a part of a change that is sorely needed here in our city.
Thank you, Council President Congo, and thank you for the compliment of saying I've spent a lot of time in this. I think our combined time of advocacy is a really big number, and I definitely don't carry the majority of it, but thank you. I was invited to join this morning yesterday, and so I'm going to be late for my first meeting in Dover, but I can't imagine a better reason to do that. Nothing's more important to me than the uplift of our educational landscape here in the city of Wilmington, and I know I share that value with the folks I'm sitting beside this morning. I was speaking to Ms. Marshall Basnight. She reminded me that a decade ago I was serving as an urban policy fellow while in grad school with City Council, and we were focused on looking in the rear view of how did we get here with education in the city and what could we possibly do to move forward. And so at that moment and in the years that ensued, spent a lot of time collaborating with colleagues to think about how we could strengthen advocacy for Wilmington students. And so I'm very glad to be able to be here to support the proposed formation of an Office of Educational Advocacy. I believe that this initiative represents a missing piece in our broader reform efforts, a permanent and a more unified voice dedicated to the needs of Wilmington students. I believe that it'll build on the momentum that we have been achieving through the Reading Consortium, Representative Chakwocha and I, and all those who serve with us, Ray Jones Avery and others, of which I am a proud co-chair. And I just want to commend City Council President Congo this morning for recognizing the importance of institutionalizing this advocacy. This step makes me even more optimistic than I've been feeling lately about what the next 2 years and beyond should hold in terms of potential for transformative change in education overall in our state, but especially for our children here in the city of Wilmington. As the City Council President stated, this is an essential investment in their futures, which are our futures, and a powerful affirmation of our collective commitment to equity and opportunity. So thank you, everyone, for being here, and looking forward to seeing what's possible. Oh, pardon me. I'm going to now introduce Councilmember Michelle Harley of the 4th District to come up and give a few words as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here on this morning. And I just want to say that I believe that the time is now. And as Council President Congo has already stated, that we've been hearing this conversation over and over again. What is City Council going to do? So I want to just, first of all, take a moment to acknowledge all the residents, our community leaders and partners who have joined us on this morning. We want you to know that your presence reflects our shared commitment on the well-being of our community. We're always hearing from parents and different individuals in the community, so we want you to know that your presence this morning means a lot to us. As we gather together today to discuss, in my opinion, a crucial call to action, ensuring that the Wilmington City Council, we are serving and being the strong voices for our Wilmington students. We believe that this is a fortunate situation for us to have the support not only amongst our council colleagues, but some of the important educational partners that are sitting behind me and also out in the audience on this morning. And some of those partners include the Lewis Reading Consortium, the Wilmington Learning Collaborative, and other dedicated organizations. As we all know, this is a pivotal moment for our city, and I firmly believe that Wilmington City Council is ready. I really do believe that we are ready to answer the call and to be a voice at the table for our students that are in need. As the finance chair, I wholeheartedly support the legislation necessary to kickstart this important work on Thursday. Yes, we will be introducing the legislation on the floor for the 3rd and 4th reading on tomorrow. So to all our stakeholders and community members present, I want to express my sincere gratitude for your ongoing engagement and dedication to making our city a better place for everyone, and especially our children and youth in their pursuit of a quality education, because they do deserve it. Your input, we are definitely open to your continual input because it is invaluable. And I want to encourage each one of you to continue to share your ideals and concerns regarding education and our children and the city of Wilmington as we move forward. Thank you. And at this time, I'm going to call to the podium Councilmember Alex Hackett.
See, I'm a little tall here, so I'm gonna lift the mic. I'm just so blessed to be here today. This is my first press conference, so thank you, President Congo, for this. President Congo mentioned for over 4 decades, Wilmington has lacked a voice in education. With the support of our colleagues in the community, the Office of Educational Advocacy can be a step toward amplifying the voices of our constituents on education. At my time as an educator at Kumba Academy Charter School, I recognized that there's no single solution that impacts student success. And there's no single solution, but we have to start somewhere. We need collaboration on all levels of government with institutions like the Wilmington Learning Collaborative and Reading Consortium, and especially from the students, parents, faculty, and staff that are preparing our kids to be great citizens in the city of Wilmington. Many of the concerns that affect student achievement aren't limited to the classroom. They include access to tutoring, housing security, the need for positive role models and mentoring, safety, and many others. Some of the concerns that I've seen is curriculum, truancy, and after-school programming. When I grew up, I attended P.S. DuPont Elementary School. I was fortunate to come home to my grandpa, papa, my mom, my dad. Each of them could sit me down at the table and help me with math and other subjects. Today, curriculums have become so out of touch with what's possible for families to support at home. This disconnect is leaving many parents struggling to keep up with what their kids are learning in school. I'm in the schools pretty much every day, and since COVID, we've seen a noticeable increase in truancy. We have to have our kids get back in school because without consistent attendance, they simply can't learn or succeed. After-school programming are equally important. Kids need opportunities to keep advancing in education beyond the classroom. And this is where sports and STEM-related activities come in. We already have amazing community centers like PAL of Wilmington, MSK Community Center, William Hicks Anderson Community Center, Neighborhood House, Teen Warehouse, Hilltop, and West End, all of which provide these essential opportunities. To the parents out here, trust in these centers, give them a chance, and give yourself a break. This work isn't easy. We all know it takes a village to raise a kid, and we're here to be that village. The Office of Educational Advocacy is an opportunity for council to set priorities and build on the work of organizations like the Wilmington Learning Collab and Reading Consortium by creating the conditions locally to support what they are doing. I would like to thank President Congo for spearheading this initiative and calling on our village today and concerning stakeholders to stand up as we, for our sake of our kids and our community and our future for the city. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to call James Baker, served as our 54th mayor of Wilmington, Delaware from 2001 to 2013.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's amazing that we're in a building named after one of the greatest Americans that fought for education, was Lewis Reading. But also, I remember when I first got on council, I served on the Education Commission for taxing on the schools and funding our Wilmington schools. And it's amazing how we've transferred all this time, and we lost education completely. I mean, lost it, because we have a failed system and all these innovations that they keep trying. I remember one of my grandchildren coming home one day, and she said, you ought to learn new math. And I said, what's new math? You count on your knuckles. 10 or something like that. I don't know what she was talking about. So anyway, if you keep teaching people it doesn't matter what about new math, if it doesn't register to anybody else in the world, it doesn't really matter. I really like to thank the President of City Council, Councilmember Congo, for that, and the members of council who are supporting this whole effort. It's going to be a long haul. And I'd like to thank the people from the state And I remember three names that always come up over the years in education. One was Ray Avery, Hicks Anderson, and Jay. Why can't I remember his name? Jay. He was the other one. And all these people kept coming up all the time fighting to help our kids. So if we work together, I think we can make a great change. So thank you very much, Mr. President. You'll remember something. They always have to call you Mr. President. And there's only one other person they call president, right? So enjoy it. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Ray Jones Avery. I'm here in support and representing the Wilmington Center for Education, Equity, and Policy, which is co-led by myself and Lynn Howard, who is in the room, the former Chief of Staff for the Honorable Ted Blunt. We are both daughters of educators. And I think it's always important to start with your ancestry. We are both first-person witnesses to excellence in Black education, and we are unapologetic about the vision for the Wilmington Center for Education, Equity, and Policy. So our vision is this, that Black and brown children living in the city of Wilmington will no longer be harmed by poor educational experiences. And the opportunity is that through unique collaborations guided by authentic voices, the voices of ordinary people that don't have fancy titles, along with formal decision makers, evidence, data, that Wilmington will be a city where children are guaranteed an exceptional education. So we speak it into being. The Wilmington Center's mission is to ensure that every student and the educational entities that are entrusted with serving them have top-notch services that benefit the full range of their needs. Because the student that's in that seat lives in the world. And they don't just change when they walk across the door. And so we have to do a better job of transforming both the communities that they live in as well as the school system. We cannot disconnect the two. So I just want to tell you a quick origin story for the Wilmington Center. Began right in this building on the 9th floor under the Williams Gregory administration. You know, Williams on the mayor's side, Theo Gregory on the council side. And they were warring. And that's just a fact. And we went to them and we said, this warring does not serve us. And so we sat former city councilman Anamdi Chakwocha, now a representative, at the table. Tizzy was Senator Lockman was then a UD graduate student, nonprofit leaders, J Street, and we have representation from, in addition to Rep. Namdi, from council president and staff from the office of the mayor. Now I'm telling you this for a reason. If I named every group, we would be from here out that door, right? We can't keep doing this. We have to have one direction. And like you said, it's going to be a long haul, but it can't be that long because we've been waiting too long. And it's not going to be easy, but we can work across difference. That's what we're called to do. We're called to work across differences. We sat in that room many hours. Every time we met weekly. And we didn't come out of the room until we were in agreement, right? So we didn't come in the room in agreement. So I just want to share a little bit of the origin story. Our particular focus and what we commit to add value, Mr. President, is in the area of advocacy. Our people are weary. We have to re-energize and remobilize people. Community organizing, community engagement, and research. Our group was the first and the only group that did that commissioned a study to take a look at funding inequities in public education across the state. It was commissioned by Georgetown University and laid the foundation for the settlement that was achieved through Councilman Street and others' leadership. So we support the creation of the Office of Advocacy for Education. So know that we support it. We have a lot of questions. We must move forward. And so thank you for your leadership. And it's more, leadership and courage go hand in hand. So thank you for your courage. And thank you for your action. We have to reclaim our power and our obligation to our children. So again, it is critical that the citizens of Wilmington and our elected officials play a direct role in shaping and monitoring educational opportunities and resources that are afforded students, both young and old. Transforming education, particularly for the least of these, is the 21st century civil rights agenda. That's really what it is. So I just want to end with 3 points. Our obligation is to ensure that every child in this city has a champion that never gives up on them. That's what Sister Rita Pearson teaches us. Never give up. And some of us have given up on our children. We must never give up on our children. Again, working across difference and collaborating across the various efforts that create fragmentation, and then forming the right leadership to run this initiative that has a complement of knowledge and skills and character that brings together players in a way that heals fragmentation, and that understands policy, systems, and how to transform. So again, thank you so much, President Congo. Thank you to members of the City Council in advance of your vote, again, for your vision and for your action-oriented leadership. Thank you.
Good morning, State Representative Nnamdi Chukwuocha. First, I'd like to thank President Congo for extending the invitation and just heeding the call. And it was back in the summer, I ran into him at a political event, and I just grabbed his ear and said, we need to do this. And so often in passing, things don't happen. But I commend you, my brother, for staying true to this and realizing what we need to do, because our children need us. They need us now more than ever. And for City Council to continue to have this, just to accept it, to accept that someone else said you don't have a role in your children's education, and for us as a body to accept that. It's hard. It's hard to be in Dover to represent a city when your city isn't there fighting for the thing you need them to fight for the most. Down in Dover, we talk about Bethany Beach, you talk about Rehoboth Beach. Their city councils will come up with a piece of legislation no matter what it is, and they're lockstep with their legislators, and we pass it as a body. We don't have that. So this is the beginning of that process to me, is when our council says we are no longer going to sit on the sideline and watch the state fail our children. Because that's what's happening. Many of these failed policies, from DSEG to 9 to 12 to the worst thing that ever happened, the Neighborhood Schools Act, all of these failed policies are heaped upon our children. And we just accept it, and our children, their productivity, their desires, their belief in themselves, their dreams, their ambitions go down, 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 down. And for year after year, we've allowed this. And we've allowed it so much that we think some of our schools that have 12, 13% proficiency rates are good. We say, yeah, that's one of our best schools. And I represent these schools. So it's a failure. It's a failure when the school I went to, Warner Elementary School, we stood on those steps and we talked about we're going to make our children a priority years ago with one of these initiatives. So we go from initiative and initiative and initiative, but all of those initiatives failed to be started in this building. We have to reinsert ourselves. We have to commit ourselves. And they say that you want to look at someone's priority, you look at their budget. So I thank my brother Congo for putting this in his budget, for putting this in our budget, so that our tax dollars say to our children that we are investing in you. Because we can no longer accept this. And I pledge, along with my sister Tizzy and all of the legislators in Dover, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting because we have to work hand in hand in order to get things done. So up and down this state, you see other municipalities moving forward, but yet ours has always been, one step forward, two steps back. No, we're going to work together, hand in hand, lockstep. We want this office to succeed because the success of this office means the success of our children. It's where our schools, our educators, our school leaders feel supported so that they can come here and say, these are some challenges I'm having within my district, within our state. How can we address it? And have city, county, and state working together. Uncle Jay Street's not here today, but he's here. He's here because it's his vision to want all of us to be together. Only thing we do right now in terms of county for taxes is pay our taxes to the school, but we need county to be involved. It's city, it's county, it's state. So again, I thank City Council. I commend them for moving forward, for accepting this challenge, and to be willing to join this battle, because Reading is doing great work. The Center for Educational Equity is doing great work. WLC is doing great work, but we all need to come together. And when we're united, I promise you, this state won't know what to do. They won't know what to do because we are the catalyst. We are the catalyst for change. And as it begins to have leadership, and as we all have that same vision of wanting the best for our children, I'll just end and say our children deserve this. That if you haven't visited some of our schools lately, I encourage you to. Do whatever you need to do. Call the district office, call the principal, set up a tour. You don't want a dog and pony show and walk around. No, just visit. Visit some of our schools. I have some schools in my district. I can go in there and I can close my eyes. You can record it, just the sound of the school, and I can tell you what school you're in. Because in some schools, it sounds like a learning environment. In some schools, it does not sound like a learning environment. That's what we have begun to accept. We've begun to accept where substandard is now the standard in our schools. It's not Sunday. I'm not preaching. I'm sorry. This means a lot. This means a lot. And again, for our council to say, the state, you're not keeping us out of this fight. We're going to be in it because our children need us. That's where it begins. We lost control in one way or another in this council. Between 74 and 78, I remember meeting with former city councilman Fred Sears. And I asked him, I was like, to me, I'm like, how can we give away our school district? And he explained to me what they were thinking, that council was thinking at the time. And it's like, wow. But you think about the same thing. You think about how we lose. We've lost so much. So this is our attempt to regain what was lost. I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's don these boots, this uniform. Let's pick up our weapons and let's go to war. Because this is a war for our children, a war for the city of Wilmington, and I promise you we will win. Thank you.
So again, I want to thank all of you for making time this morning to be supportive. I do want to recognize our newly elected County Council exec, Marcus Henry, who is with us. Marcus and I have pledged to work together to help the city of Wilmington, to help the county. So I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Namdi, thank you, man, just for being who you are and for making that call to action. Namdi is the reason why we're here. I mean, there are several reasons why we're here, but Namdi is the reason why this office is going to be established, because he said that Dover needs us. He said that the county needs us, the state needs us, the city needs us. And we had a committee of the whole meeting in Namdi, and there were several others who were in attendance, and they made it known the importance of city council starting to be re-involved in the education of our city. And again, this is just the first step. If this passes on Thursday, We're going to need all of your support, all of your input. We don't know all the answers, but we do know what we need to do, and that starts this Thursday. So again, I'm just asking for the community to please show up right here in council chambers. This Thursday at 6 p.m., you're able to sign up for public comment. You can also watch virtually. You can give comments virtually. The meeting will start at 6:30. But again, I just ask for your support moving forward, not only Thursday, but after that, because I'm positive that this is going to pass. I'm positive that my colleagues on council understand the importance of us being involved and the importance of us holding each other accountable and the school districts accountable and the state accountable, because no longer can it be acceptable for our children to be failed through our public school system. So thank you so much, but we're going to need so much more of your help. This is just not a one-time, come out on Thursday to support the legislation. We're going to need your help. So anyone who's out there in the community, just please stay engaged with us. We promise to engage with you because we just don't know all the answers and we want to get it right. It's going to be a long, evolving process, but this is stage one. So again, thank you so much. I got to give a shout out to Helen Anderson. She's in the back. She has been so helpful to me, and she comes from a strong line of community advocacy, and she is doing a great job with the WLC. And so, Helen, thank you. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your passion. And thank you for saying, Trippy, don't take something out there to read. Just speak from your heart. So I had something all written out, but she said, don't do that. She said her dad told her to never read from a script, just to speak from your heart. So that's why I'm just speaking from my heart. I know I probably missed a few things, but we're going to get it right. So thank you for that word of advice, Helen. So again, thank you. We're going to take questions in the lobby. If anyone does have any questions, we do have to be out of this chamber pretty soon. So if anyone has any further questions, we will answer those questions in the lobby. Thank you again, everyone.